All right, so you want to get a handle on things fast, right? Like really get at the heart of the matter without sifting through mountains of data.
Definitely. Cut to the chase.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're doing today. We're diving deep into this report all about the global dental apex locator market.
Uh-huh.
Sounds niche, right?
Maybe a little.
But it's actually a pretty exciting area, a lot going on. And we're going to break it all down, pull out the most important bits, the stuff that'll make you go, huh, didn't know that. You'll walk away feeling in the know, not drowning in data. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Great. So, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about what a dental apex locator actually is. Now, not everyone listening might be a dentist, so...
Right. Yeah, it's this super cool tool.
It is.
And it's used during root canals. It's like having, imagine a super precise GPS, but for your tooth.
Ooh, I like that.
It helps the dentist find the exact end of the root canal, that little tiny channel inside your tooth.
Which is crucial.
Absolutely vital.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get that right, the treatment won't be as successful.
Makes sense. So this report we have, it gives us a snapshot of this market right now. And in 2025, it's estimated to be worth, get this, 66.2 million US dollars.
That's not small potatoes.
No, not at all. But here's the kicker. It's projected to just take off. By 2033, they're saying it could hit 117.19 million.
Whoa.
That's a compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of 7.40% from 2025. So, those numbers, those projections, they're based on a forecast period from 2025 to 2033.
Okay.
And using 2024 as the baseline year. So, pretty solid foundation. But the big question is, what's driving this growth? What's making this market tick?
Well, the report points to a few key things. The first one is this rising demand for super accurate root canal treatments.
Yeah, you can see that.
Because as dental science gets better, there's this bigger emphasis on being really precise. It's all about getting the best outcome for the patient.
Right.
And that means relying on tools like these apex locators.
Totally. If you're trying to save a tooth, they don't want to mess around. Accuracy is key. What else is fueling this growth?
Well, sadly, the number of people needing root canals is increasing worldwide.
That's unfortunate.
It is. Deep cavities, injuries, these things happen.
Yeah.
And when they do, you need a good root canal.
Guided by one of these fancy apex locators.
Exactly. And the third thing is, well, awareness.
Oh, right.
People are more aware of oral health these days.
Yeah.
They understand how important it is. They know that neglecting your teeth can have consequences. So they're more likely to go to the dentist, get checkups, and, if you need a root canal, you're going to get one.
So basically, more demand for better treatments, more people needing those treatments, and more people actively seeking care. No wonder this market is booming. Okay, so let's talk regions. The report breaks down the market by different parts of the world, and it's always interesting to see how things vary.
For sure.
So where's the action at?
Well, in 2025, North America is the big dog.
Oh, really?
Yep. Over 40% of the global market share. That's 24.49 million US dollars. But the projected growth rate, the CAGR, is a bit slower, 5.9% from 2025 to 2033.
So the top dog, but maybe not the fastest growing. What's going on within North America?
Well, the U.S. is the clear leader.
Makes sense.
They're at 19.33 million in 2025, with a CAGR of 5.7%.
Wow.
Which makes sense. They're big on advanced dental procedures. Canada is next at 2.94 million, and their CAGR is a bit higher, 6.7%. And then there's Mexico at 2.23 million, with a CAGR of 6.4%.
Okay, so North America, the heavy hitter. What about Europe? Where do they stand?
They're holding their own, over 30% of the market share, with a size of 19.27 million US dollars in 2025, and their CAGR is 6.4%.
Let's see, Germany is pretty substantial, 3.80 million with a CAGR of 6.6%.
Okay.
They're all about oral health and advanced treatments, so that tracks. The UK is right behind them, 3.23 million with a CAGR of 7.2%. Interesting. Higher growth rate than Germany.
Yeah, they've got a strong dental care system. That probably helps. Russia's at 2.98 million, CAGR of 5.4%. And then you've got France, Italy, and Spain, all hovering around the 1.5 to 1.7 million mark, with TDRs in the 5.5 to 5.8% range.
Right.
Now, even the smaller markets like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, and Luxembourg, they're showing solid growth. CAGRs between 6.1 and 6.7%.
That's good to see.
And the rest of Europe combined, they're at 2.69 million, with a CAGR of 5.1%. It's a pretty diverse picture across Europe.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we can't talk growth without mentioning Asia Pacific. This report flagged it as the fastest growing region. What's going on over there?
Yeah, they're the ones to watch. They're starting at a decent base, 23% market share, 15.89 million US dollars in 2025. But their projected CAGR is a whopping 10.1% from 2025 to 2033.
Wow, that's huge. If I'm a company in this space, APAC is where I'm looking, right?
Definitely worth a look.
Which countries should we be paying attention to in particular?
Well, lots happening in APAC. Dental problems are on the rise. Awareness of oral health is increasing. It's all adding up. China is the biggest player in the region, 6.67 million, with a CAGR of 9.6%.
Makes sense.
Lots of demand for modern dental care there. India's interesting, smaller starting point, 1.59 million, but their CAGR is through the roof, 12%.
Wow.
They're expanding their dental clinic networks like crazy, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Japan and South Korea are also doing well. CAGRs of 8.6, 9.2% respectively. And then you've got Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, Southeast Asia, all with really solid growth projections. CAGR is between 9.4 and 10.9%. It's definitely a dynamic region.
It sounds like it. All right, what about South America? What's the story there?
South America is holding steady, over 5% market share, 2.52 million US dollars in 2025. Projected CAGR of 8.1%. Brazil is the main player, 1.08 million, with a CAGR of 8.7%.
Yeah.
They're seeing a rise in oral health awareness that's driving things. Argentina is smaller, 0.42 million, but their CAGR is even higher, 9%. The healthcare system is improving. That's probably a factor. And then you've got Colombia, Peru, Chile, all contributing to the overall growth.
Gotcha. So South America's on the move. What about the Middle East? What are we looking at there?
Middle East is around 2% of the market, estimated at 2.65 million in 2025. Projected CGR of 8.7%. Saudi Arabia is a key market, 0.93 million, CAGR of 9%. They're investing heavily in healthcare infrastructure.
That tracks.
The UAE and Turkey are also showing strong growth, CAGRs of 9.2 and 9.3%. Qatar and Egypt are also in the mix.
So Middle East is definitely a player. What about Africa? What's the outlook there?
Africa is currently at around 1% of the global market, 1.46 million US dollars in 2025, projected CAGR of 7.7%. South Africa is a big contributor, 0.51 million, CAGR of 8.6%. Nigeria is another one to watch, smaller market right now, but they're seeing a growing awareness of oral health.
All right, so we've covered the regional picture, some interesting variations there. Now let's dig into the market segments. What did the report say about the different types of Apex locators and who's using them?
Right. So they break it down by product type, the end user, the type of Apex locator, and how they're being distributed. In terms of product type, those with a touch screen are going to be the big ones.
Not surprising.
Right. Everyone loves a touchscreen. They're easier to use, they often have more advanced features,
Right.
and they can provide more detailed information during the procedure.
Which means better outcomes for the patient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The report estimates they'll have somewhere between 60 and 65% of the market share.
That's a pretty big chunk. What about the other product types?
Well, the accessory segment is actually the fastest growing.
Oh, really?
Yep. Which tells us a couple of things. First, as more dentists start using Apex locators, they need more replacement parts, add-ons, that sort of thing.
Right. Makes sense.
And second, there's this trend towards portable dental solutions, those mobile units.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about those.
So they probably need specialized probes, different connectivity options, and that's driving demand for accessories.
That makes sense. Adapting to a changing landscape.
Hmm.
So who are the main users of these Apex locators?
Right now, it's mostly dental clinics.
Right, that's where root canals happen.
Exactly. They hold the largest share. But academics and research institutions are catching up fast.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're using Apex locators more and more for training future dentists, for research, all sorts of things.
That's good to hear. It means this technology is becoming the standard. Now, the report also mentioned different types of Apex locators, like corded versus cordless, and different distribution channels, online versus offline. But they didn't give specific numbers on those.
Yeah, that's right. They just mentioned them as categories but didn't go into detail about market share.
Okay, so we know what's driving this market, how it's segmented. But are there any roadblocks, anything that could slow things down?
Yeah, the report did mention a couple of things. The first is cost.
Oh, yeah, that's always a factor.
Right. Advanced Apex locators can be pricey, and that can be a problem for smaller practices, especially in areas where, money's tight.
So access and affordability, classic healthcare hurdles. What was the other one?
Awareness.
Oh, right.
In rural areas, remote regions, there's often limited awareness of these technologies.
That makes sense.
Dentists in those areas might not be up to speed on the latest advancements. They might not have the training opportunities, and that can definitely slow down adoption.
For sure. Okay, so we've looked at the challenges. Now let's look ahead. What are the big trends that are going to shape the future of this market?
Well, the report highlighted a couple of things.
Hmm.
First, there's this move towards integrating digital and wireless technologies into these devices.
Makes sense. Everything's going digital these days.
Exactly. It's all about connectivity, data logging, seamless integration with other digital tools.
Makes things easier, more efficient.
Exactly. The other trend is towards smaller, more portable units.
Oh, right, like those mobile dentistry setups.
Exactly. Dentists want flexibility. They want to move their equipment around easily.
Adaptability is key these days. All right, last but not least, let's talk about the key players in this market. Who are the big names?
Well, it's a pretty competitive landscape.
I bet.
You've got established global companies, regional manufacturers. It's a mix. The report specifically mentioned Dentsply Sirona, Qingzhou Sifri Medical Technology Co., Ltd., Colting Group, Zhengzhou Senmi Dental Equipment Co., Ltd., Ionex Kerr Corp., and J. Merida Corp.
Okay, so a mix of familiar and maybe some lesser-known names. Any interesting recent developments?
Yeah, they highlighted a couple of things that happened in February 2024. J. Merida launched their new Root ZX3 Apex Locator and HF module. Big news in the endodontics world.
Cool.
And Royal Philips announced a partnership with Aspen Dental. They're integrating Philips Sonicare products across Aspen Dental's network. It's all about improving patient care.
Nice. So even in this niche market, there's innovation, collaboration, it's moving forward.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's wrap this up. We've covered a lot of ground today. We looked at the global dental apex locator market, and we've seen that it's on track for some serious growth.
For sure.
From 66.2 million US dollars in 2025 to a projected 117.19 million by 2033. That's pretty impressive.
It is.
And we know what's driving this growth? Demand for precise treatments, the prevalence of dental problems, and increasing awareness of oral health. We looked at the different regions. North America is the leader now, but Asia Pacific is the one to watch.
Right. Yep.
And we explored the market segments, the challenges, the trends, touchscreen devices, accessories, digital integration, portability. It's all happening.
Yep.
But I think what's really exciting is the future.
Oh, yeah.
As this technology keeps evolving, who knows what we'll see? More sophisticated imaging, artificial intelligence guiding procedures.
Right.
It's a pretty exciting time to be following this space.
Absolutely.
So for all of you listening out there, keep your eyes peeled. Who knows what amazing innovations are just around the corner.
Yeah, who knows?
And that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.
See you then.